We've just come from 2 days campaigning in Scotland, in Glasgow, and I have to say that leaving Glasgow this morning, it was bright sunshine, it was a very hot day, and what's happened? You come to London and it's raining. What is going on? But we were with 3 different groups of workers in Scotland over the past couple of days. We made an announcement of Labour policy on intervention in the shipbuilding industry to save jobs and promote training and promote industrial development in this country. The Tories are leaving manufacturing industry behind. They're replicating everything that Thatcher did in the 1980s when she tried to destroy the manufacturing base of this country. And we were promising that a Labour government would use all the powers of procurement it could in order to invest in industry in this country and to support jobs and skilled jobs and high-paid jobs all over the UK. And we were very proud to work with a group of apprentices there as well. After that, we had a meeting with a big group of construction workers discussing what they're going through, where they have no guarantee of permanent employment, where there is danger on many sites, and where there are attempts by many employers to undercut industry-wide agreements. And the background to all this has been the scandal of blacklisting of trade union activists in the construction industry over many years. And what we said to them was, one of the first announcements of the next Labour government will be an inquiry into Orgreave, an inquiry into blacklisting, an inquiry into the injustices that workers have faced in so many places. But at its heart, the treatment of construction workers is something that is a scandal and something that has to be rectified. I want to lead a government that will build 500,000 council homes, that will build so many more homes. To do that, we're going to need a construction industry that is regulated, that has good quality employment, that above all trains the young workers of today for the skills we need of tomorrow. Again, we have a government that is not investing in the young people of the future, is not investing in the training that is necessary. A Labour government will be investing in vocational training, will be saying there is a real parity of esteem between gaining a skill through an apprenticeship or a degree through a university. We need both. We don't need our young people going into debt to get an education. We need our young people getting the skills they need and want. And building those homes that are necessary will do so much good. Provide good quality employment, good quality training, good quality homes, and those children now growing up in damp, overcrowded, expensive, unregulated, private rented housing deserve, need, and will get somewhere decent to live under a Labour government. And then, after that, I had a truly inspiring meeting with a large number of mainly young people who are organising trade union membership in pubs, restaurants, hotel, hospitality and the catering industry all across the city of Glasgow. And they put forward their charter, and it's a really basic set of demands. A living wage, to be consulted on the hours you work and the shift patterns you have, to end harassment at the workplace, to provide them with safety at the workplace, and to guarantee that the tips they're legally entitled to, they keep as they are entitled to. Again, it's a Tory government not interested in rights at work, not interested in the plight of nearly 1 million people on 0 hours contracts who don't know from 1 week to the other how much work they're going to get, what their income is going to be. Imagine what it's like trying to bring up children, not knowing what your income's going to be, and then having a fight over the benefits on the weeks that you don't work, and in some cases losing your home as a result of it. We need a properly regulated labour force in this country to guarantee those rights. But above all, you need trade union membership to guarantee those rights. And what I admired so much about these young workers is they've joined the trade union movement because they see in our trade union movement their solidarity, their security, our strength and our future. The future is to join a union. But our movement is, of course, to stand up for people at work, is, of course, to stand up for decent wages, but it's also a wider social demand that we make. We've had 8 years of neoliberal economics and austerity being imposed on the people of this country. And during those 8 years, real wages have fallen, massive cuts in local government expenditure, as well as an attack on NHS spending. All those public facilities that have been closed all around the country. Those 1 million people waiting for the social care they desperately need. Those young people unable to afford to go to university because they're frightened of the debt they're going to incur at the end of it. Those young people that can't get the training they need and deserve. Those infrastructure projects that have been put on hold or destroyed altogether. All on the altar of austerity, which we were told was necessary and would fix the economic problems of this country. One, it was a political choice, not an economic necessity. And secondly, it has resulted in greater inequality and greater injustice than ever before. They protected the tax havens and cut the spending for those that need public expenditure in this country. So it is up to all of us to challenge that whole narrative, and that is exactly what we are doing. And it's not just us in this country. The anti-austerity movement across Europe, the anti-austerity movement across the USA. Those multinational companies and those super rich people that thought there's always a tax haven to hide your finances in and hide your ill-gotten gains in. I tell you what, a Labour government's coming after you. We will tax properly. What our manifesto said a year ago was, yes, we want to deliver on all these public service promises we're making, but it's also about transforming the way we look at services and look at society. Public ownership, to me, is no longer a dirty word. It's actually something that's very popular. That's why we are pledged to take rail, mail and water back into public ownership. Also, to give workers a say in their own future. Asda and Morrison's decide they want to merge. Were any workers consulted? Were any workers guaranteed jobs at the end of it? Were they part of the equation? What John McDonnell has set out on our behalf is that in the event of mergers, takeovers or closures, the workers will have to have a say and a voice in what happens to them in the future. But it's also about our relationship with the rest of the world. We are a country that has to trade with the rest of the world. Our manufacturing industry relies on it. Our food services rely on it, and so much more does as well. So we will be negotiating a tariff-free trade relationship with Europe. We will not be doing a sweetheart trade deal with Donald Trump to destroy worker conditions on both sides of the Atlantic. And And so it is about all of us campaigning together, developing those policies of the kind of society that we want to live in. I feel personally, and I'm sure we all do, angry and embarrassed when I see people sleeping on the streets of this country night after night. The growth of rough sleeping homelessness is a symbol of everything that's wrong with the funding of public services in Britain. Give the local authorities the power, the finance and the resources to build the houses that are necessary. Have a real system of social security that doesn't punish people for being disabled, doesn't punish people in the capability for work assessment tests. Instead, treats people with dignity and respect and builds the concept of a society that respects all and the needs of all. Our movement has made incredible gains and advances over the century, more than a century that we've been in existence. We're celebrating the centenary of when the first women got the right to vote, a rather limited section of them. 10 years later, all women got the right to vote. That came from working class communities standing up and demanding the right to vote, but also saying men and women working together achieve far more than men and women working in opposition to each other. That sense of unity is so important. And the injustices that have been done through racism and the creation by Theresa May and her government of the hostile environment against the Windrush generation, that has been partially defeated by popular action, but by the bravery of that Windrush generation who said, we came here to work in health, in education, in transport and universities, and now you try and kick us out. Well, I've got news for the government. Our solidarity is with them. Our solidarity is with the unity of all workers together to achieve things together. And so we campaign for rights at work. We campaign to repeal the Trade Union Act, which is designed to damage and reduce the political voice of trade unions. I'm proud to lead the Labour Party, which was founded by the trade union movement and is the political voice of the trade union movement. And I'll be very proud when we repeal the Trade Union Act and replace it with something very different. With a ministry which will guarantee rights at work, guarantee the right to join a trade union, guarantee the right to be represented by a trade union, and guarantee those rights at the workplace which are so much under threat in so many places. Because we have a great deal of work to do together. Are we going to live in a society where we tolerate homelessness, where we tolerate these degrees of inequality, where we tolerate what is frankly the waste of poverty? I want to live in a society where the achievement of a child in school is not dependent on the postcode lottery of where they're born or the funding they got at their school. But that every child is valued and every child does everything to the best of their ability and the greatest of their potential. Our movement was founded to respect all and include all. That is our strength. That is our watchword, and those are our achievements. This demonstration today is about workers' rights. It is about collective endeavour, but above all, it's a declaration that we're around. We're around to campaign as long as it takes to bring about that social justice and that decency in society. We're around to protect our environment. We're around in solidarity with those in other parts of the world that don't enjoy those rights and don't enjoy that sense of solidarity. Sisters and brothers, thank you so much for being here. Thank you very much.